Here we go now.
Welcome back, guys, to the Kempire channel, your number one source for pop culture news and music, entertainment, reality TV, and so much more. This is our weekly recap of the Real Housewives of Potomac. And of course, I had to bring some special guests for the holidays as a gift to all of you. Lailah Lynn and Grace Report are back.
Hey, we're back.
Yeah, first of all, everyone asks me every once in a while, when are you and Grace and Lailah going to do a recap? Because we did it for two seasons, two successful seasons. Then the seasons started to get very dark and bad. And we just were like, we'll take a break. But we still did like little pickup recaps of pop culture and Potomac and things like that. And I said, let's end the year in a special way. I met Grace finally in London. We also had a special video from Lailah in London. For those that were in London, you got the exclusive video. So it was special. It was kismet. And I said, and first of all, there's no drama either, y'all. I know people stop collaborating. You think that there's drama. We weren't fighting.
No.
We weren't fighting. Okay.
I like that word you used, though, kismet. It was kismet. I like that word.
Yeah. So first of all, ladies, before we get into the mess, because there's a lot of mess to get into, from Karen Huger's DUI, the body cam footage, to the season of Potomac, people want to know your thoughts. What have you both been up to? I'll start with Grace. What have you been up to?
Well, speaking of meeting you in London, which, by the way, was an incredible show. So shout out to my cousins over there in London if you're watching. It inspired me actually to do a live show of my own, not in person, but like here on YouTube, because what was that? Sorry?
No, I said yes.
Yes. So yeah, I'd always been kind of nervous about like speaking any longer than like 10 to 15, maybe max 20 minutes. But after seeing how exciting it was, being able to get feedback in real time, I was like, let's go ahead and do this. So I launched the Morning Report, which is a live show that I do here on YouTube every weekday at 10 a.m. and it lasts about an hour. And that has been just absolutely amazing. I'm having the greatest time.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Lailah, what have you been up to?
I've just been relaxing, living my soft life, drinking my coffee. I like my pedal and pour coffee collection. So that's my website. Yeah, LailahLynnHome.com. So I'm doing all home merch. So this is me handing y'all a cup of coffee.
Wow. Look, always entrepreneurial. So Lailah Lynn has her own coffee now, and I'm sure more things to come, because you see the Lailah Lynn Home.
Yeah. So I'm gonna do all my merch as home merch, like pillows, throw blankets, stuff like that. And so the coffee is the first one.
Okay, and when is that available?
It's available now. Thank you for asking.
Everyone go to LailahLynnHome.com and go get your coffee right now. It's the holidays. It's a perfect gift. I know some of you are already late with your holiday gift shopping, so it's okay. You can you can order now, and you can give it to people, on the 28th, 29th, 30th.
Yeah, by the new year. But you know what? It's really about like doing something like special for yourself. Like when you have a moment, like even if you're traveling, you take your coffee with you, make it in a room. So anytime is a good time to like have a cup of coffee with yourself. Anytime.
I know that's right. Okay.
Congrats, Lailah.
Thank you.
You guys have been so busy. Y'all already know what I've been up to. So But happy holidays, everyone. Thank you so much for being here for our Real Housewives of Potomac recap. But before we get into what's been going on with the season, don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to share the video. Don't forget to subscribe. And don't forget to follow our guests, Grace Report and Lailah Lynn. All of their information will be available in the description, okay? We have to talk about the breaking news from last week that Karen Huger, the star of Real Housewives of Potomac, the Grand Dame, apparently Andy Cohen gave her that name, that yes, we discovered all of this. And apparently she's also Thomas Jefferson's concubine. So before we get into that, I just want to remind you of the body cam footage that came out. She's been convicted of 5 of the 6 charges that she was facing. I did talk with allegedly Stephanie a little bit more about that case. You'll see the video of that today at 2:30 p.m. Eastern. But let's take a look, ladies, at this situation with Karen Huger. Just a little. We're not going to watch the full 30 minutes. Just a reminder of what all of us watched last week together.
Why are you interviewing me?
Because you were in an accident and you appear to be impaired.
Well, I'm not. No, I appear, but
Okay,
I'm not.
that's right. That's why I'm asking questions.
You ready?
Yeah.
Let's go.
Okay, no, ma'am, you're not
touch
free
me.
to leave.
Honey,
You are not free to leave.
you can't go until we answer some
You
questions.
answer the question.
I'll answer the question.
You leave
Okay,
me
then
alone.
you stay right there then.
But you-
Okay, for me.
Don't
okay?
touch me.
All right, don't
Okay.
go anywhere then.
Don't touch me.
Karen, please.
Don't touch me.
I'm not touching you.
Listen, listen.
You good?
I'm good.
You have it?
I'm good, but you.
You'll answer.
I will help you answer the questions.
Okay.
Okay.
Where is she coming from?
Okay.
I should have probably taken a cab.
You probably should have taken a cab, yes.
Thank you.
Or an Uber.
But I'm very rich. I am Thomas Jefferson's concubine. And I after the next video point is what?
So that's just a synopsis. That's just a synopsis. Lailah, what was your reaction when you first found out about Karen Huger being convicted and then the body cam footage coming out?
Well, to me, I reacted more to the body cam footage. When I heard she was convicted, I was like, yeah, because she probably was drunk. You know what I mean? The whole time I thought she was drunk. But the body cam footage to me was like jarring. Like, you're not just a little drunk, you're a lot drunk. Like you're toasted. Like she said, I'm lit. And anytime you're telling the police I'm lit, like you in trouble. Baby, you in trouble. So I hated to see Karen in that way. And it just, just as a person who drives or even walks on the side of the road. I don't really walk on the side of the road, but just in general, as a person, I just hate the picture like being on the road with Karen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That angered me, picturing myself on the road with Karen as a driver or a pedestrian.
Yeah. Grace Report, what was your reaction to the conviction and the body cam footage?
I was in pain, in physical pain as a dame. I just felt like, oh my God, how could she do this to us? How could she? Because the way she was describing it, the way she was like, I need my soldiers. Y'all can't, wait until you see everything come out. Like, I really thought, like, I didn't think she was innocent, but I didn't think it would be that bad, And so just to think with the way that she was posturing on the show, knowing that this is what it really, was like, was just really horrific to me. I was disgusted and, ashamed to like, how could she do that?
Yeah, I agree with you, Grace, in regards to, I didn't think it was as bad as it was when we finally got to see the footage, because the way that she was posturing on the show, you would have thought that there was some gray area, that she wasn't that inebriated. And I did speak with allegedly Stephanie. She had to see this body cam footage. Evidence is presented to you before you go to court. And the fact that she saw this, I'm not going to even blame the attorney. I think this was all Karen deciding, despite this footage, I want to fight the charges. During the season, she has said, oh, it's because of, losing both my parents. It's because of Ray. I felt so bad for Raymond Huger at the crash site, trying to help Karen in this moment. But Lailah, how did you feel for Ray? Did you feel anything for Ray?
I have complex feelings about Ray because he's so sweet. He's so nice. But I do feel, this is my opinion, this is all allegedly, but I do feel like Karen has a life outside of Ray that includes other men. And I am curious, like, what she was doing that night. And so I don't think she's faithful to Ray. You remember when Charisse was like, she gets drunk and does whatever in the bathroom with other men?
Oh, damn, yeah.
Yeah. So I feel like it took me back to that moment, like, was Sharice right about you? Like what Sharice said, it made me wonder if that was one of those nights with Karen. Like, was she with another man that night? Is that why her hair was wet? Because she took a shower before she came home, but then she didn't quite make it home. And so then Ray is on the scene, trying to speak for her. And it was just a lot.
Can you talk more about the wet hair? Because I thought that's how it was. But your theory behind the wet hair that we see, the wig that we also saw in this week's episode, I think it's the same wig that was struggling to stay on.
Yeah. It was a struggle. My theory, it's wet, like it's soaking wet, and the more you go along in the footage and it starts to dry, you can kind of see the way it's drying. It looks like it's drying from being soaking wet, like if you were to shower in your wig, or maybe you were in the jacuzzi in your wig, Karen. Like whatever she was doing. She was doing something in her wig. This is my opinion. This is my theory, is that Karen was doing something in her wig to where her wig was wet. And then you see in that hours, worth of footage, you see her wig start to dry the way it dries because it's wet.
Yeah. Wow. This is why I love when you guys come through, because I would have that, especially I'm not a wignista.
Yeah.
Not yet. Look, not yet. Never too late.
Give you a man unit.
Give me a little man unit. So I never thought about that. Okay, Grace, what is your reaction to the possibility that she was with another man? Do you believe it as a Ladam?
I do believe it. I do. When Lailah said that, I was kind of like shocked. I believe mainly, I like the jacuzzi theory that like it was getting wet from the water. But there's so many things that do not add up in her explanation about the car swerving away from it. But there's like there hasn't been any real mention of another car since all of this has went down. And wondering who would let their friend, because it's assumed that she was out with a friend, but who would let their friend get behind the wheel like that? I'm so curious about who the other person was, and if we'll ever get the answer to that, whether it's a mistress or if it's a friend.
Yeah. I mean, is it a mistress if your husband is okay with it?
Yeah, I think they have an arrangement. Like Gordon and Mia have an arrangement, right? Like at a certain age, sometimes men's packages do not work anymore. And if they got with a woman who's right, not all the time, but sometimes, like I said, sometimes it just doesn't work anymore. Or maybe they have less desire and they've got a much younger woman that they need to please. Like sometimes you got to open up that relationship. It's the cost of doing business.
Oh, damn.
The cost of doing business.
Wow. I
That's
never
all
thought. Okay. All right. That's the cost of doing business. That's another quote from Grace Report. Okay. So there was a statement that her attorney released to People magazine saying that they respect the decision of the court, which was out of the 6 charges that she was facing, she was convicted of 5. We talk more about the legality of why she got away with the 6th charge, with allegedly Stephanie a little bit later on. But the attorney said that possibly they're going to respect Karen's right to appeal this decision. And then, of course, we all saw the body cam footage. Do you think it's a good decision, Grace, for your leader, Ladam?
My leader.
No. Do you think that it's a good decision for Karen to appeal this case, or should she go straight to jail?
I think she might have to go straight to jail or pay a fine or whatever it is. Because, maybe not even jail time, depending on how strong her attorneys are. She might negotiate rehab or some kind of alcohol prevention program or something like that. I don't know. But I think it's better to just accept this than to appeal, because hasn't it happened in certain cases where people appeal and it's just so egregious to appeal something that's so black and white that the judge says, you know what, you seem very unremorseful, so I'm going to go ahead and double your sentence at this point. So I do think that there's a risk of that. So I would not advise her to appeal.
Yeah.
In your legal expertise.
In my legal expertise here on my kitchen counter, do not do it.
And all of our legal expertise. Lailah,
Right.
do you think it's a good idea for Karen Huger to appeal this?
No, I agree with Grace that it might piss the judge off. Like, you're so blatantly drunk. You're talking about your Thomas Jefferson's concubine. Like, you're so drunk. You're so lit and it's like, to me, it's like a whole ego thing. Like you need an ego check. And that's why I feel like she does need at least 1 to 2 nights in jail. The community service to me is not going to get it because I feel like Karen, she's involved in the community. And so I feel like she needs to hear the bars like clank, clank. You're not special. I know you said you're all of these things, but all of those things don't matter when you're on the road, liquored up like that. All of those things don't matter. So I do, unfortunately, even though, I do consider myself a Ladam, even despite the fact that, yes, I love Karen, but out of love, I do want to see her get a reality check.
Yeah. And we have to remind folks that this is at least her second DUI.
I'm glad you said at least, because I have heard that it might be
There
higher.
might have been another one. So I don't know, maybe that was just scratched from her record if there was another one, but that is concerning. And this season alone, I don't know if you guys seen it, she admitted to being behind the wheel of the car a couple of years ago when she was hanging out with Mia and Mia's friends.
Oh yeah, that's right.
She said she pulled over. She said she pulled over. However, you still got behind the wheel of a car. And I at this particular point, I don't know if I believe that Karen Huger decided to pull over and call her driver.
But why is everyone letting her drive like this? Where are her real friends in her life? Like, if she was with Mia and Jacqueline and they were friendly or friends at the time, how did those girls let her drive home alone like that? It's really shocking to me.
Well,
I've had my friends back in the day, like when I used to drink and go out, like back, my 20s or whatever. My friends would drive my car for me. Like I have vivid memories of being in the back of my own car because my friends were looking out. You know what I mean? So that is a good question. Where are her real friends?
Here's the thing, though, and I agree with both of you. Karen Huger's a 60-something-year-old woman. She's a grown adult, and she clearly has a problem with alcohol. I think the friends should be actual friends and hold her accountable, which I don't believe anyone on this cast has really held her accountable. But again, it was a legal case. Now it's not going to be. But I'm only going to hold Karen accountable. This is your allegedly second or third DUI. Yes, your friend should have said something, but who knows? She could have been belligerent, like I'm fine. Who knows? But again, if you watch the footage, it seems as if she gets drunker and drunker as the video goes on. By the time she gets to the police station, she seems gone.
Yeah, she's lit.
So maybe she seemed fine when she left her friends.
That's a good point.
Yeah. Could she be drinking in the car?
Well, there was what, Stella Rose in the car, they said?
There you go.
Have y'all ever had Stella Rose?
I don't drink.
Is that a beer? The green one?
That's what I was asking because I thought it was a wine, but then they said it was beer.
Or am I thinking Stella Artois? I can't remember.
Oh, okay.
I think she was drinking more than just that. I'm sure I think there was a bunch of different things. Guys, you're just joining us. We have our special guest Grace Report and Lailah Lynn. Don't forget to check out the description for more details on how you can follow their channels and everything that they have going on. And don't forget the Kempire After Dark live experience. Speaking of Potomac, I'll be coming to Washington, D.C. on January 24th, inauguration week. I know, whatever. We'll have fun. We'll have a good time that week, and then we are returning to New York City on Friday, February 21st. More information on the Kempire After Dark live experience will be available in the description. We also got a couple of super chats. Let me just say thank you. Adriana, thank you so much for becoming a member. Janet, thank you so much for becoming a member. Hayat, thank you for the super chat. Hayat says, OMG, this is such a throwback. I miss y'all doing these recaps together. This must be early birthday gift. Happy early birthday.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Millie, thank you so much for being a member for 7 months. She says Karen is giving major entitlement vibes. Ladies, question about that. I think a lot of people are also reacting to the things that Karen was saying in the body cam footage as coming across as elitist. And like, what was your reaction, Lailah, to some of the things that she was saying? Do you just say like, oh, she was just drunk?
No, it was deeper than that. And this is what I was saying. In my mind, I'm gonna look at it is if you get arrested, everything you say is your defense. And so if you look at everything she's saying as her defense, I'm George Jefferson's concubine. That's my defense. What she said, I'm Black and Russian. That's my defense. Like, if you look at everything she said as her defense, you can see that she is entitled. She's very entitled. And I was so sad to see it. Like, it crushed me.
And then when you
Like,
look at this episode between her saying clankety clank to Jacqueline, and then she's talking about, you know, she needs an OG check. And a lot of this fame and reality stuff, I think, has gone to her head. You know, they call me the Grand Dame, she's saying in the body cam footage.
yeah.
Yeah, Grace, what was your reaction to some of the things that you heard Karen say, like the elitism of it all? Did that stuff stand out to you?
The one that's going viral, "You're poor and white," was just, girl, now where did that come from? You know, what's that got to do with anything? It was just so mind-blowing, the things that she was saying. But listen, she was lit. And at the end of the day, she is a very kind of like arrogant person. We saw that in the first season, first episode, where she had that outdated kitchen talking about, I'm married to the Black Bill Gates, all sorts of things, trying to teach Ashley, have her under her wing, all that stuff. So I'm not surprised. It's who she is. And I think maybe that is what we kind of like about her. When it comes to our housewives, we like them to be a little bit delusional, funny, arrogant, and shady. So that part doesn't piss me off. To me, it's just in general, the fact that she is drunk driving. That really pissed me off. The other stuff, it's like, you mess.
I don't think a lot of people are talking about that enough in regards to that. Especially when we see so many reality TV stars getting DUIs, but specifically, like, Karen is very lucky that she didn't harm herself, but more importantly, that she didn't harm someone else, because she could be facing a lot more serious charges. Do you guys think that she will actually get jail time?
I really hope so. I really hope so. I feel like that's the only thing that's going to bring her like to reality, because she is delusional, and delusional is entertaining. So we are entertained by Karen. She's very entertaining. But I do think she needs that reality check, because, okay, this time you didn't hurt anybody. But if you don't get that reality check, there could be a next time.
Yeah.
And what happens next time?
The second or the third time, fourth time?
Yeah. Yeah. And then to be the judge, I feel like the judge has to do their job. You know what I mean? Like, they have to protect the citizens in that area. Like, they have to do it.
Grace, do you think she should get jail time?
Again, it physically pains me to say this as a mom, but I do think at least maybe one night in jail would be good. Here's the thing. In the video, she was even bragging. She's like, I'll get like 1, maybe 2 years of like jail time, like as if it was nothing. So it's kind of like, all right, girl, let's see, you know, what you're really made of. I don't want to see her get 1 to 2 years again. And it's terrible because I hate drunk drivers. I hate what she did, but I'm a delusional follower of this woman. I can't help myself. I want her on my screen.
I had no idea.
I know.
No,
I'm so serious.
Here's my thought on it. She definitely needs jail time. I'm sorry. Again, especially if we come to find out that this is her 3rd DUI charge, she definitely needs jail time. And word on the street, and Lailah, you can chime in on this. I hear Maryland's DUI laws and how serious they take it is very serious down there.
Yeah, I've heard the same thing. Yeah, so she probably will get, you know how sometimes they'll order like 30 days and then the person will stay 1 or 2 nights and they'll let them go. I think that's what's going to happen to Karen. Like, she's going to get ordered jail time and she's going to spend a couple nights in jail, and hopefully she'll get that reality check, and then they're going to let her out. That's my opinion.
Well, word on the street, according to Page 6, is that Karen Huger's potential of returning for season 10 of Real Housewives of Potomac might be in jeopardy. As you know, they haven't filmed the reunion just yet, so all of this will be on the table for them to talk about. I wouldn't be surprised if they play some of the body cam footage. Look, and look, some people might say no, they shouldn't do that. I'm sure Karen probably would fight against that. Do you think they should play the body cam footage?
I think so. I think. Yeah, I think so, because it's real, and it's a real danger to people on the road. Yeah, I think they should play it.
Yeah,
I
right?
agree. Yeah, I want to see Andy Cohen's reaction to being name dropped in the squad car. Now, why am I in it?
Well, they're saying that Karen possibly returning might be in jeopardy. Grace, do you think that Karen Huger, I mean, first of all, we don't even know, depending on if she gets jail time and how much jail time, she might miss out on the next season. But if she doesn't, do you think that she should come back next season? She's been convicted of a criminal act.
Mhm. Yeah, listen, we've got Teresa on the Real Housewives of New Jersey. We've got a bunch of other criminals on other housewife shows. So I don't see why not with Karen. You know, I really don't see why not. At the end of the day, if she goes to jail, then that would be her paying her debt to society. And so, you know, at a certain point, you do have to let people kind of move forward, and then we see what they do with the rest of their lives from there.
Yeah. Okay. Lailah, do you think that Karen should be able to return after her conviction?
Yeah, I would like to see her. I know she's not going to show herself in rehab, but I want to see Karen do rehab, even if it's not on television. Maybe she just puts it on social media. But I think there should be some type of redemption arc. Like it should be, you know, her admitting to her mistakes. Like let's not do the delusional. Let's do reality. Go to rehab, you know, and then come back. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm on the fence about it because we've seen, of course, how people have gotten away with a lot, like Teresa Giudice, and then come back. But part of me is sort of like, based on watching the body cam footage and how much of this fame has gone to her head and how that has led her to be so irresponsible, part of me is sort of like, I think the biggest punishment from Karen Huger is not being on this platform, is not getting rewarded for bad behavior like they've done in the past. So I understand we're talking about reality television and we want to see the real. We also want to see how the other ladies react now that she's been convicted. But part of me is sort of like, I'm not too sure if she's really going to learn her lesson from this. And not everything should be for public fodder.
Kempire, this is why you got blocked. Back up off my girl now. Back up off my girl. You're punishing me if you take her off of Housewives. No, I didn't do anything. Put her back. No.
Oh, Grace, I completely forgot that Grace would always come from the sideline. She's a sniper from the side. Oh, wow. I completely forgot that I got blocked by Karen on Twitter. But okay. Oh, okay.
No.
Well then, your point has been made, Grace.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. Bring her back. Grace can be entertained.
Thank you. Put her back. And Kempire, I need you to bring Kempire After Dark to Surrey County. Maybe have her as a guest. Make amends.
We can do it. We can do it. I can definitely meet you there.
Maybe we're going to all be in attendance. Here's the thing. I would definitely be down to interview Karen after she's gone to rehab. Not now. You're not going to use me or anyone else's platform as a way to appease the fans. No. Go to rehab, get the help that you need, and then we can talk.
Yeah.
I'm not even sure if I would want to talk then, but we'll see. Look, well, speaking of the season and Karen during the season and how she's really been just sort of like, wait till the truth comes out. Now the truth is out. Based off of what we've seen Karen talk about throughout the entire season, and now we've seen the body cam footage. Grace, how are you feeling about how Karen has sort of, handled herself during the season?
She is a master manipulator because she managed to shut everything down by pretending like it's a super vague thing. It's not a big deal. Like I was not real, I might have blown like 0.01 over what I should have, sort of a thing. And now it comes out and it's too late for the girls to really say much because they've already taped it and she might not even show up for the reunion. Who knows? Or maybe she'll have another strategy, which is now, hey, listen, I'm going through an appeal. It's still in the courts. I cannot talk about it. So she won.
How do you feel about that? How do you feel about your mom doing that?
This is why I like her. She's like leaps and bounds ahead of the other ladies. Do you think the other ladies would have been able to pull that off? Absolutely not. No.
You gotta stop, Grace. There has to be a limit. It has to be like a boundary set somewhere. She's doing the most. And I feel like she never thought this footage would get out. And it kind of makes me wonder, okay, Karen's doing the most as far as acting like everything's okay. It's no big deal. I just need y'all to soldier for me. But then we see Jacqueline doing the most on the other end. And it just makes me wonder, do y'all think anyone on the cast saw this footage but before it became public? Like, did Jacqueline see the footage? Did Mia see the footage? Is that why they're doing so much?
I don't think so. Especially because I don't think they would have seen it before the public. unless Karen showed it to them. Karen, of course, and her attorneys had access to that footage, unless they know, oh, wait, you're right, but doesn't Jacqueline, her PP?
Oh, yes, and he don't follow the rules. We know he got his own citation. So maybe that's why. Maybe she's seen the footage.
Maybe.
How do you guys feel about how Karen has been treating Jacqueline throughout the season? Lailah, we'll start with you.
Well, I kind of feel like Jacqueline deserves it because from what I'm hearing is that Karen, Karen is friendly. When the new girls come on the show, like, she's the grande dame. I feel like she's kind of welcoming. And they're saying the reason her and Jacqueline were like on the phone, like Jacqueline says, oh, Karen called me drunk. But they're saying the reason that she was on the phone with her is because Karen was trying to help her like stay on the show. Like Karen was lending her a hand and now Jacqueline is turning on her. So I feel like if you turn on me at my lowest moment, then you get what you get. So I do agree with the way that Karen is reacting to Jacqueline. I agree with it.
Grace, you called her
I
thirsty
agree.
before we went live. Oh,
I agree with
was that privileged?
Here's the thing. It's true that Karen is not like a Jazelle, or a Robin where they'll try to haze people like immediately upon meeting them. Like she accepts people with open arms. So it was really disappointing to see that Jacqueline went from having Karen as an ally to an enemy because she's not strong enough to have Karen as an enemy. She can't, clap back the way that Ashley can or somebody else can against Karen. And it's just been so disappointing because when Jacqueline was against Mia, I loved it and I wanted her to have a fluke, but she's just not been good. It really hasn't.
So y'all remember that scene? I want to say it was like the one of the Lake Norman episodes when Karen and Jacqueline were going at it, and Jacqueline had to literally go sit beside Mia to like get some strength to go against Karen. Oh my God, that was terrible. I was like, this is why you'll never be a housewife. You can't even sit alone and go against Karen.
Well, here's the thing with Jacqueline. I didn't dislike Jacqueline when she came on originally. I actually was like, oh, so she's not that bad, but everyone hated Jacqueline then. But now I could understand everyone hating her now because you could tell that she is Mia's lapdog throughout the season. And even when she was trying to defend Mia at Wendy's birthday party, Mia walked away and saying, oh, you didn't have my back. And she's done with her. So I think, I don't know what's going on. Clearly that Jacqueline came on this season trying to be Mia's alliance. Maybe Mia promised her like, well, you'll be on the show if you're friends with me.
Right.
And I feel like we're seeing a lot of the behind the scenes in front of us this season of Potomac. We're talking about OG checks. We're talking about filming. I see them breaking that fourth wall. How do you feel about that, Lailah?
I like it because I feel like, because you know how sometimes as viewers you're watching and you understand the reason they're doing what they're doing is because they're on television. You know what I mean? And so now they're finally acknowledging it, like the whole OG check thing, like they're acknowledging like we're the OGs and these girls are coming at us and we need to do something about it. I like breaking down that fourth wall.
Yeah. Grace?
I'm not sure that I really like it, to be honest with you, especially when Mia had Jacqueline with the 8 citation balloons at Karen's house. It kind of sometimes feels a little like staged. Like I want to get lost in it and feel like this is all real and it's, not really producer driven or staged or anything like that. But to me, sometimes it's okay. Sometimes it feels staged, depending on the stunt.
All right. Since we're talking about one of the newbies and the friendos of the show, I mean, we haven't said a lot about Jazzy, and I can't wait to hear your thoughts on this woman and her Mia math. Great. How do you feel about Jazzy? Do you like her? You want to hear more?
Oh God, Jazzy. I don't know how I feel about her because we don't see her too often. But when we do see her, she gives very much airhead, bird, desperate, just based off of her relationship. And it's disappointing because when she's with the girls head to head reading or, assessing them, she is on point. And it makes me sad whenever you see like a beautiful, smart, like sophisticated woman who's witty and all that stuff. But then like when it comes to her love life, it's like a huge mess like that. It's disappointing.
Yeah. Lailah?
It reminds me of Kenya. Remember how Kenya was on Watch What Happens Live one night and Andy Cohen asked her, like, you seem so strong, you're so witty, you always have something to say to the ladies. But this man, like when you're with your husband, like it's a totally different Kenya and not in a good way. And so Jazzy gives me that same vibe, Grace, like where she's strong, she's witty, she's clever. But then when it comes to her relationship and even Kiana, like that all goes away. You know what I mean? Like she humbles herself for her man to the point where it's like, where you at, girl? Like, what happened to the Jazzy that we were getting to know? What happened to the Kiana that we were getting to know? So I'm not a fan. I don't. If you don't have kids, sometimes you're more invested in a relationship to where, you know, someone might cheat on you and you might be like, okay, when I look at the bigger picture, maybe we can get past this. But for her, she's not married to the man. She doesn't have kids. Like, she doesn't have ties with him to be such a, I almost want to say doormat to him. Like, what makes him so special? I don't see it.
Yeah. I initially, when we were first introduced to Jazz, I was like, I kind of like her. I feel like she was standing out even more than Kiana.
Yeah.
But then that whole Mia math with the relationship, and then she switched it up at the Love Lagoon, where she was sort of more direct, like, yeah, he cheated. There was, I don't know if I trust him. I felt like she sort of got the notes and that's why she switched up, but I just don't know where to land with her. But I still have my eye on her. Speaking of someone I have my eye on, Kiana, how are you feeling about this newbie who went from a friend of to a full-time flute holder? Lailah?
Grace. Oh, I was saying Grace.
Okay.
I like her, y'all. I like Kiana. My only gripe with her is like the relationship. Again, I don't like her relationship, don't like the guy. And I don't like that she is highlighting his business more often than she's highlighting her own. She's got a beautiful, glamorous business. It fits right in with the girls. She could do these treatment parties with them and stuff. And she dresses up nice when she's there. But with the guy, it's like the polo shirts and like the half empty office and whatnot. And I don't get it. This is a once in a lifetime opportunity. Promote yourself, not a random boyfriend.
Right. And he is random. She thinks he's more than that. I think she thinks he's her future husband. And to me, she gives, I'm auditioning. And not for the show. I feel like she's auditioning for the role of his next wife. And I hate to see it. I hate to see it. And like you said, Grace, her business fits in perfectly. Like it's an audience that would love that. You know what I mean? But instead, she's there promoting his business, his social work business. And then she says her business runs on autopilot. And it's like, no, if you feel like you're on autopilot, that means you might have the opportunity to like step it up. You know what I mean? Like it's a step up opportunity, not just sit on autopilot. And so I just hate to see women audition to be wives. Like either he likes you or he doesn't. And I just feel like she has so much work ahead of her. Like if she wants to be his wife, it's not going to be relaxing and enjoyable. I feel like he is going to work her like, and I don't even know if she's getting paid now. Like the work she's doing for him, like the sales and marketing, it's not clear if she's getting paid. She said he referred to her as an employee, and that was kind of jarring for her. But it's like she is working for him for free, and I just hate to see it. I hate to see that.
Kiana mentioned that he doesn't love the fact that she's on this show, but he's trying to support her. Grace, how do you feel about Greg in general on the show? And you can definitely see that he does not want to film. It kind of reminds me of Mark Daly.
Yeah. You know, I feel like Greg knows that Kiana's out of his league. And so he wants to do everything he can to keep her from like realizing that she's that girl. She's beautiful. She's smart. And she's got real money. I don't know if you guys follow those pages where like they show off like the clothes that the girls are wearing. With half the girls, it's like, oh, she's wearing, I don't know, Fashion Nova or Shein or something like that. But with Kiana, it'll be like real, like expensive. Like even if she's wearing a plain shirt, it'll be like a designer expensive. Like she wears a lot of subtle stuff, but like very expensive stuff. So she's got the money, she's got the beauty, she's got the businesses. And this guy, like, sure, he's got like a great job, you know, as a social worker and stuff like that. But I think that deep down, he's trying to neg her and make her feel like this is the best she can do, even though it's not. And I hate that for her.
Ooh, okay. Lailah, how do you feel about Greg?
Well, I got a thing for guys named Greg. I have to be honest with you. Even my son.
Oh, really?
Yes, it's Greg's everywhere in this family. But yeah, I do think he negs her. Sometimes, like, I'm not the best with like relationships and stuff like that. So I don't understand, like, is he really trying to humble her and bring her down to his level? Like, is he really doing that to her? Or is she like volunteering, you know, to I don't see what she sees in him for her to do all this for him, like for her to audition to be his wife and do volunteer work for his company. Like, I don't see what she sees in him. So their relationship to me, I don't, it just doesn't look lovely and peaceful and enjoyable to me. It looks like hard work, hard labor.
Oh, damn. So a lot of people were excited. A lot of people were excited about Kiana, but this season they feel like she started off strong, but now she's sort of like fumbling it, and maybe because of the relationship with Greg. But last week we were talking about the comment that she made in regards to the trip. She really didn't seem excited about this Panama trip. She likes to go to Europe cities. Grace, how do you feel about her comment in regards to that?
You know what? I said that I think she might be at least a little bit, slow, like grammatically challenged or something like that. Just the way, because I'm sorry, but the way she speaks in almost every sentence, there's like a glaring grammatical error. And now we're learning that she's like geographically challenged too. It's like, come on, girl, like you're so successful. You're so this. You said your business runs on autopilot. Use the rest of the time, studying maps, something.
Okay. Lailah, how did you feel about that comment that she made?
When I travel, I like culture. And so when I travel, of course, I like European countries, but also like African countries. Like it could be anywhere because I want to see what y'all doing. Like what y'all doing over here. That's my main question when I travel. Like, let me see what y'all doing. And so I understand other people might travel for different reasons, but to me, I look at travel as like an opportunity to see people's culture. And so the fact that she wasn't interested in other cultures except European was like, okay, girl. I can't say she has the best taste. That goes her relationship, her travel. The fashion taste is good, but
I was scrolling through her Instagram. I was like, well, maybe she traveled because y'all know I love to travel. So I'm scrolling through her Instagram, and she's been to like the Turks and Caicos and like all the places that I saw that she went recently in the last 2 years was the Caribbean. So I felt like Panama's in line with where you have been traveling, not these Europe cities. So I was just like, oh, okay. It was jarring to me when I first heard it. I was just like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
But fine.
She didn't know, guys. She was like, I don't want to go to like Florida, this random city in Florida or whatever. She didn't know she was going to Panama, the country. That's why I'm like, the girl is not.
Fine. Guys, you're just joining us. We have our special guest for the holiday season as a gift back to you guys. We brought the trifecta, the dream team for Real Housewives of Potomac. If you missed any of our recaps, we recapped. I don't remember which seasons it was. It wasn't last season. So it was season 6 and season 7?
That's what I was about to say. I know for sure season 6. So it had to be 6 and 7.
Yeah, so if you missed any of that, even though they're old episodes, but some of you are doing like rewatches of Real Housewives of Potomac, go back and watch those recaps. They're on my channel, Grace's channel, on Lailah's channel. All you have to do is put the Google in, put our names in, it will come up. Okay, but don't forget to subscribe to their channels. All of their information will be available in the description. And as always, don't forget to like this video, our weekly recap of the Real Housewives of Potomac. We had quite a few super chats, and I just want to say thank you. Amit, thank you so much for the super chat. Amit says, 4th DUI, 1 charge, 1 dismissed, 1 pled down. Thank you, Amit. Wow. We'll just say allegedly, because again, I haven't been able to confirm this, but Amit is saying that this is her 4th DUI, 1 charge, 1 dismissed, 1 pled down, appealing to keep saying that she can't speak on it at the reunion. Justice for Shasha, Therese, and regular Robin. Because Robin said last season, she said it last season that people will eventually see who Karen really is. She did say it. You know how I felt about regular Robin, but she did say it. Okay, thank you so much, Amit, for the super chat and for doing some research. We appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
What? She going to jail, y'all. I'm sorry.
I hope so. That concubine, that clink. She got to hear that clink.
Delon, thank you so much for the super chat. He says, "Happy holidays, Grace and Lailah look beautiful." So what about me? Am I chopped liver?
You look good, Kempire. I see, the full body in the videos and stuff from the lives.
It's Pilates. Being great through the Pilates.
It's working. Yes.
Anne-Marie, thank you so much for being a member for 16 months. We appreciate it. Is it possible that she has ABS and that is why it seems like she's more inebriated as time passes? Maybe.
What is ABS?
I'm not a medical expert, so I don't know. I don't know. Millie, thank you for the super chat. Millie says, anyone who repeatedly drives drunk, racks up 3 DUIs, and still makes excuses is dangerously entitled and lacks self-awareness. They need jail time and rehab, no excuses. Thank you, Millie. Yes.
Yeah.
Especially now that we know this is possibly, allegedly, the 4th one. Brandy, thank you so much for the super chat. Brandy says, I heard that the original plea offered was for 6 months jail. 6 months in jail? So if that was the original plea, they probably gonna give her more, y'all. Or maybe house arrest?
No, you're right. If you don't take the original, you from my understanding, you do get more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn.
That's why she didn't want to take the plea. But you saw the body cam footage. Oh, Brycey, thank you for being a member for 22 months. So I love when Layla, Grace, and Kemp do R2P recaps.
Me too.
We do too.
Yeah.
Sharon says, thank you for the super chat, Sharon. Sharon says, Karen got the Nene syndrome, but I want her back after rehab or jail. The other women get to come back after she put in quotes, back after changes/jail. She should be able to too. I mean, you're right, but we also have to keep in mind that Bravo, ever since the reality TV reckoning, updated their code of conduct. So some of those things that were excused in the past might not be excused today. Just want to point it out. The HR Army is bringing it up, okay? Mama Jamma, thank you so much for the super chat. Mama Jamma says, I'm a client of Kay's. Her business is glamorous and successful and bougie. I think she's dimming her light to highlighting his business to convince him to film.
Oh, so that was probably her bargaining chip. Like, I'm going to highlight your business. I'm going to wear your t-shirts to get you to film. That's probably right. That's
not smart.
Instead of highlighting her business that would be hugely successful from being, I mean, it's already hugely successful, but even bigger from being highlighted on the show. Unfortunately, I'm sorry, Greg, not a lot of folks that are watching Housewives care about your business.
Yeah.
Sorry, like I hate that. Like, you know, I come from a social services background too, but I'm like, that's not what they're watching this for. Yeah. Ariana, thank you for being a member for 18 months. This is too much. Karen needs help. Love you all. Allie, thank you so much for being a member for 2 months. House arrest is a privilege. She needs jail. All right. All right. Okay. Back to this. I just don't know. She is a woman of a particular age, but I agree. I think she needs to learn her lesson. Karen definitely needs to learn her lesson.
Yeah. It's a lot of older women in jail. A lot. Okay. Like she will not be in bad company. Yeah.
Damn.
All right, since we were talking about the newbies, let's get into the newest newbie, Stacey Rush. How are you guys feeling about Stacey Rush this season? Grace?
Love her, obsessed. She is so fun. She seems to have such like an innocent spirit about her, especially since like the bunk bed gate. And I'm really happy to have her. I just love like glamorous, like chill, you know, chic Black women on TV. And she's definitely all of that. Preppy. I love her. Big fan.
Yeah.
All right. Layla, how are you feeling about Stacey Rush?
Same. I love it. I love the way she carries herself. I do feel there's also a little delusion with her and this whole TJ situation. Just the fact of being married, but then you're dating on the show and he doesn't really, it seems like he's uncomfortable with her being married, like dating her in public, you know, is a little bit much for him. But yeah, it's a lot going on there and I love it. I love when someone is like, I do love the delusion, whatever they think they are, whether it's true or not, whether they're that girl or they just think they're their girl. That's how I feel about Stacey. I love it. I love it.
I call her the Palo Santo, the sage of the season. Yeah. We needed it. She's refreshing, but this relationship with TJ, some people are now speculating that this is not a real relationship, that she just brought him on the show to have someone to film with, because apparently I think she was originally she wasn't divorced when she first signed on to be on, or getting a divorce when she was signed on to coming on to Real Housewives of Potomac. That all kind of played out during the season. So I don't know. And people speculating on TJ. Look, we could speculate all we want. Okay. The blouse is saying everything that we need to know. Okay. However, I have to remind you ladies, I love me some Stacey, but I hated the way that he spoke to her at Dr. Wendy Acefo's birthday party. It was weird. It was aggressive. It showed signs of abuse that I'm just like, what is going on? I warned you. Grace, what do you think about TJ and Stacey's relationship? Because everyone on this season has an opinion about their relationship and them not having sex. That's an important element to add. They're not having sex. Grace?
Yeah, I hate that these girls are seemingly forced to have like relationships on the show, like, and it's all these rental boyfriends or whatever. It makes me very sad for them, because I do think that they've got a lot of interesting, authentic things that they could be sharing outside of these love lives. Like, I would love for these girls to come on single if that's the case, and then find love later on, rather than try to play in our faces with these like BS staged relationships. And then when it comes to them kind of being celibate, I hate the way the other girls are acting about it, like particularly Jazelle and Ashley, because I don't think you need to go running around sleeping with everybody, because they keep telling her, they're like, go run, try all these other Ds around, the DMV. I'm like, why don't you guys tell her to get to know other guys? Why is it, lay it low, spread it wide? I don't get it. It's weird to me. Yeah.
How are you feeling about Stacey's relationship with TJ?
I just think because you guys, some of you may know that I have gone through a divorce before. And so when you're with one person, but then you decide, and this is why I think they give her that advice to like, not necessarily, well, they do say lay it low and spread it wide. I don't think she should do that, but I do think she should experience other men, because otherwise it's like you were in this long-term, I want to say like 15, 20-year marriage to this man. And now there's no like break. There's no bachelorette time in between, because you're waiting, to get divorced and possibly marry another man. It's like, where is the you time in between? So I feel like she should not be in like a coupledom or whatever she's in with him. I feel like they need to give each other some space. And so when it comes across like the other part about him being celibate, because she said it's more so him, it's like, okay, I can understand on the one hand being celibate because it is a married woman. You know what I mean? So I think he doesn't want to be on TV, sleeping with a married woman. I think that's one issue. But to me, don't date me at all.
Yeah.
If you're not gonna be like, I hate to say if you're not gonna be intimate with me, but I kind of do feel that way. Like if you're gonna withhold yourself from me and that's something that I want, like don't date me at all. Because I hated like that kiss he gave her at the Love Lagoon.
The Christian kiss?
Breaking up with you. Yeah, if you kiss me like that Christian kiss, and you look like you don't want to kiss me, don't worry about it. Don't even worry about it. Like, don't even worry about it. It's okay. Somebody else will fill that spot. So I would break up with him.
Oh,
or whatever.
Damn.
I would break up with him.
Here's the thing, though, and we've talked about this week after week in recapping the show, is that intimacy doesn't necessarily have to be the in and the out. It could be in other ways. And I felt like he was more intimate with that trainer than he is with Stacey. Like he finds every excuse to be cringe. And I'm just like, I don't get it, TJ. You don't have to sleep. We get it. She's literally in the middle of a divorce. You don't have to be, sleeping with her. And I get it. People have their boundaries, their beliefs and whatever. But you don't have to be mean. And then when he was mean with her at Wendy's party, I was like, oh, there it goes. The red pride flags are hitting us all in the face. I can't. Get out of here. What?
Did you say red pride? Red.
The red flags, but pride.
Okay.
Okay.
So do you think, let me ask you this, since you brought it up, because I've dated like a lot of Christian men, like even like leaders in the church, leaders in the church. And none of them have been like in front of the audience or whatever, like the congregation, they'll present themselves as celibate, like if they're single or whatever, but when you actually date them, like they're not celibate, like none of that is real. And I think that's what Jazelle, well, we know with Jazelle and Jamal.
Yeah.
But I think that's what Jazelle was getting at in one of the confessionals when she was saying, when you really know like people of the cloth, like men of the cloth, when you know them and date them in real life, that celibacy thing is, it's just a front. Yeah. And so a lot of people say that a lot of men who are, they use that cover of Christianity to hide their sexual preference.
Oh.
And so since you brought that up, you mentioned the pride flag. Do you think he's using that cover of Christianity to hide that maybe he is more interested in men?
I mean, there are a lot of signs that point to that. Look, he doesn't claim that. He claims it's religion or whatever it may be. But the fact that the way that he's spoken to her, the way he's treated her. Again, intimacy or being kind. I felt like I'm more intimate. Look, Grace and I were hanging out. If you had filmed us hanging out, y'all would have thought we were dating. Based off of based off of what we've seen with Stacey and TJ. Because I feel like I'm still kind to my friends. So I just feel like he's not even kind to her as a friend. So again, some people speculate that this is not a real relationship and that's why it's coming across the way it's coming across. I don't, that's the only thing about Stacey's storyline that I find so cringy, but I love her. I think she's perfect for this show. I like how she's able to, even when they're trying to drag her or even when they're trying to haze her, she doesn't fall for it. And for me, that's that's grown women stuff. Like she understands. Like I'm not gonna fall for it because I saw Mia try to haze her. We hear how Karen is. Let's do OG check on these newbies. They got to fight. We don't. So you can see that some of these folks feel like it is sort of like the sorority. I just like the fact that she hasn't fallen for it.
Yeah, we needed her energy so much. And honestly, the TJ stuff, I blame production because I think it's clear as day that she was forced to fake a relationship of some sort on the show. Because, they go from, he loves me so much, we're going to get married, and then we'll get intimate, to, the flashbacks that kept playing this episode of him saying, to Jazelle that she was correct, they're not in a relationship. It just doesn't add up.
Yeah. He's the only person, you guys know, when I do my research for videos, like I was doing research the other day for somebody totally different on IMDb. And you know how they have the actors' profiles. And I was like, let me look up TJ. When I looked him up, he's the only person I've ever seen list it, like it says sexual preference, heterosexual. And I've never seen somebody put that on their IMDb.
Me either. Even on mine, I don't have that on.
Right. Who is checking for that? On IMDb. Who's looking to see that? But his is on there.
This is why Lailah is so good. If you don't subscribe to Lailah's channel, the investigative reporting. What?
Yes. It's on there. Oh, wow. And so that made me feel like he's defensive. And that's not to say, he's not heterosexual. It just makes me feel like he's defensive about that. And he does so many acts of dominance to Stacey. Like the whole, first of all, to me, the way he's doing the whole celibacy thing is like an act of dominance. And then checking her at Wendy's party. It's like you see these little like microaggressions from him that just gives me, I'm defensive. I'm trying to be dominant because I'm defensive. And so if I were her, I would just give it some space.
Wait, Kathy Jones says, for the casting couch. Oh, okay. Lord. All right. Let's move on because we have so much more to talk about when it comes to the Real Housewives of Potomac, guys. If you haven't already, be sure to like the video, be sure to subscribe, and be sure to check out our guests, Grace Report and Lailah Lynn, and everything that they have going on. More information on them will be available in the description. All right. How are we feeling about Ashley? We found out that Ashley finally is filed for divorce, but we don't see it play out during the season. We found out offline that she filed for divorce. Now she's dating this new guy, Jack Harlow. She says in this week's episode, she hasn't felt this way about a man since Michael Gullum Darby. Oh, do you believe it, Grace? What are you feeling of Ashley this season?
I feel like this could be her swan song season. Like I think maybe not get rid of her altogether. Maybe she could be a friend of moving forward, but I don't really see her moving the needle too much at the beginning with the Karen stuff, but she did back down. So now it's kind of like, well, what is she really here for? It's great that she's dating, but like until this divorce is real, I don't really care, And I was surprised that she didn't feel this way about the Summer House guy because she was all over the place talking about that guy too. So I don't know.
Yeah. All right, Lailah, how are you feeling about Ashley this season and her new Jack Harlow?
Well, I like to see it. I like to see her dating and moving on from Michael. And it looks like he's around her age. So that's new. And I like to see it. I like to see it. I already thought, like, on this episode, she revealed that they had been intimate, which I had already thought, on the past episode when she said she's protective of whatever they're developing.
Oh.
Yeah. And I'm happy for Ashley. I'm happy for her.
Well, I nearly forgot to talk about Ashley when we were in London, Grace, remember? I said, let me not forget today. Because I really don't have anything else to say about Ashley this season. Part of me doesn't even care.
Right.
To be honest.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to even lead this question. I just want to ask simply. I'll start with Grace. How are you feeling about Jazelle Bryant this season?
Well, listen, this was a London discussion, so I will repeat it again. I am surprisingly feeling Jazelle this season. Like, for me, she made our HOP unbearable for like a long time. So now that her henchman is gone, like, she has to play nice with the other girls, and it's working for me. I like that, like, we don't have this ugly energy anymore. But I will say I loved the way that Wendy clocked her on her double standards in last night's episode, because it is true. You know, I don't think she's beating those colorism allegations anytime soon based on the way she treats Wendy versus the other girls. And yeah, it's not okay.
You saw she got very defensive.
She got very defensive
when Wendy called her out.
Yeah.
But they rolled the tape.
To me, when she did that, when she was like, well, Wendy, I didn't expect as much from you as I do Mia, because Mia is my friend. To me, doesn't that mean you should be even madder at Mia because you expected more from her as a friend? Like, to me, it still didn't make sense. So I see Jazelle trying, like, I see her trying to be the nice girl. I see her trying, and I like to see her try. You know, it is easier to watch the show without her and Robin tag teaming, but I still feel like I see some fatal flaws in Jazelle. You know?
Yeah. Look, I'm not falling for it. For me, and this is how I conduct my life, I'm a very forgiving person. However, and not that you know, Jazelle needs my forgiveness, but I'm just talking in general. I'm not falling for what production and what the network wants us to believe. Like, we forgot what we've watched for the last how many seasons with Jazelle and some of the problematic things that she's said and done. At the top of this season, she's like, I don't want to talk about any isms in her conversation with Wendy. And I said, what do you mean isms? You talking about colorism? Is that what you're referencing there?
Yeah.
I was like, okay. And so I'm not, for me, it's going to be seeing Jazelle change over time, not the narrative the network wants to feed us to believe that Jazelle has magically changed from her toxicity over the last how many seasons. No, Jazelle showed us who she really is. And I'm a strong believer. When people show me who they really are, I'm going to believe them.
Absolutely.
I'm open to Jazelle having her little fun and quirky moments, but I'm not one of those folks, you know, in the Bravo universe that's gonna be like, Jazelle is amazing again. I love me some Jazelle. That's not going to be me. I'm gonna keep my good eye on Jazelle.
As you should.
On Jazelle for the remainder, because I see the real Jazelle show up even this season, but that's just me. Like, that's just me. How are you guys feeling though in regards to Mia? Mia, you know, people say that she is now the new face, the new face of the show, Real Housewives of Potomac. You know, between her divorce from Gordon, her new boyfriend, you know, her relationship. Congratulations to Jacqueline. Some people speculate that Mia might be the father of her new child. Lailah, how are you feeling about Mia this season and her?
Oh my God. She's the worst. To me, Mia is the worst because she's using her kids. And I feel like the fact that her oldest son is not on the show anymore says something. And I wish I could find out, like, exactly why he's not on the show. Is it just his choice, or is it, you know, something going on with his father? And his father is like, you're not going to use my son, and question his paternity. And so I don't respect women that use their kids in that way. But at the same time, I feel like Mia, I don't know what happened in her bringing up. Like, I don't know how she was used as a child, but it seems like she has different standards for her kids, like, than, for example, I would have for mine. Like, I just feel like she uses her kids, and it's not okay.
Yeah. Grace, how are you feeling about Mia this season?
Yeah, I'm disappointed in her. For sure. Especially with what it is that she's been doing with her kids. I don't think it's fair. And, you know, when it comes to what Lailah was saying, what happened to the oldest son, I kind of think that potentially, you know, with all the trashy behaviors, maybe he's been getting bullied at school. And so he kind of just doesn't want to show up anymore, you know, on the screen based off of her actions and people, you know, having things to say about it at school. And I do also think that, you know, when you're kind of you're raised by wolves or whatever, you behave in a way that is not really all that conducive to healthy relationships with, like, you know, family members, children, stuff like that. And it really shows. But it's quite surprising to me because I will say that whenever she's interacting like one-on-one with the kids, like helping them bake, you know, boxed cakes and cookies, it
Not
really
boxed.
feels as
No, it's always over to the side over here. Box. Okay,
like,
go ahead.
it really, you know, because it's so funny. She'd be like, you know what, guys, let's get to baking. Like they're gonna do like this full-blown project, and they whip out a box. You're like, all right, girl. But she's
wrong with a box?
Ain't nothing wrong with a box.
She's good with them one-on-one, but she turns around and throws them under the bus, you know, for a storyline, and it's kind of scary. She and Ashley are similar in that respect to me. They're two like ruthless women who will throw anyone under their bus for like money or survival, and they scare me in that regard.
Wow. Here's the thing with Mia. Mia be lying. Like we know that, but this is why I find her so hard to believe in any scene. And when we know housewives lie all the time, however, the fact that she lies so much, you can't tell when she's having a genuine moment. Even in this week's episode where she's telling the ladies that she doesn't know what page Gordon might be on any given day, I feel like she's using Gordon's mental health as a storyline. I feel like she's using her kids for a storyline. Even in this week's episode where she's like, you always want to be near mommy to her daughter, after her daughter called her out a couple of episodes ago that we don't want you marrying Mr. Ink. And she tries to make it seem like the kids don't know about her relationship with Mr. Ink. Nothing is true with her. And it's so hard to even watch her. Lailah, how do you feel? You know, people are saying that Mia needs to go. I see that a lot. Do you think that Mia needs to go?
I don't know. Even though I'm not feeling her storylines, I might give her another season to like get it together. I don't know that she necessarily needs to go. Now, Jacqueline, we can get rid of Jacqueline, but Mia, I feel like I would give her another season just to see how things play out with her, Ink, and Gordon. I would give her at least one more season. If we can give Ashley, you know, all these seasons, you know, with what she got going on, I think we can give Mia at least one more season.
Okay. All right, Grace. How do you feel about Mia returning for another season?
You know what? I will say that I agree with Lailah, and I agree with you in that like there are certain things that are just, you know, disturbing when it comes to her, but at the same time, the storyline is still, you know, very dynamic and it's still an open thing. So maybe one more season to wrap it up, and then if she doesn't spin in a more kind of like positive direction, we would probably get rid of her or demote her to friend of. You know, I'd be open to anyone being friend of except for Charisse and Robin. You know, I don't like when they tried out Charisse. But yeah.
I met Charisse at the Summer House Martha's Vineyard premiere party. She was lovely and she looked great in person.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Grace is not impressed.
She invited me on her podcast. I was like, oh.
Did you go?
No. But she seems like a very lovely woman. Justice for Charisse now after whole Karen stuff.
Oh yeah, we might need her back. But you know what? Speaking of research, I was doing research for something totally different, and I saw. Remember, she had that crab boil. Was it last season?
I think it was last season.
So that was the lowest rated episode of the season. So the people, they don't want Charisse. The people do not want Charisse.
Wait, we have to emphasize what you just said. That was the lowest rated episode of last season. So you blame Charisse for that.
Well, the audience doesn't want her. I blame, I guess, the audience. Yeah, they don't want her.
But you bring up another really good point. But now, if Karen comes back next season, very much like on other housewives shows where people are brought back to hold people accountable, do you want to see Charisse come back? Those in the live chat and ladies here with me today, do you want to see Charisse come back to hold Karen accountable?
I feel like they could actually just show her flashbacks of what she already said on the show. Like they don't need to bring her back, but they can just flash back to what she said about Karen and Blue Eyes and all of that. Just flash that back.
What? Yeah. But you know, Charisse really is friends with these women. She just was in a photo with Jazelle and a bunch of other ones, and NECA. Y'all miss NECA? Is that a no?
I forgot she was even around, like ever around actually, until I saw that picture of like the group together.
Okay, fine. Layla says we could throw flashbacks. Sorry, Sharice. I tried to convince them to bring you back for next season. But you're right. Like, based on what we got from Sharice those last couple of seasons that she was around, it wasn't a lot. It wasn't a lot. But you never know. You never know. They might bring her back just to, hold Karen accountable. Speaking of holding Karen accountable, I really do feel as if this season the cast themselves have not really been that hard on Karen, except Mia. How do you ladies feel in regards to how the cast has navigated Karen and her charges?
I agree. They're scared. I think Karen has a lot of things over their heads. They all have things over each other's heads. And she threatened to go nuclear on them because at the beginning, what did you see? You saw Ashley being shady. She said, here's a gift basket of things like the Uber things, a birdhouse you can paint. You need to find something else to do other than drive drunk. So she really was ready to go hard on Karen. And then she just let up all of a sudden. I think Karen knows where the bodies are buried. She does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they're behaving accordingly.
Layla?
That's a good point. I hadn't thought about that, but I did see the change. And I thought maybe they just kind of let it relax because I do think they actually care about Karen, like Jazelle, Ashley, even Mia. I do think they actually care about her. So I was like, okay, they're just sitting back, maybe, just seeing how things play out. But you're right, Grace. It might be that Karen has something on each and every one of them, which is mostly, Karen is kind of like a socialite. And I feel like people who consider themselves like socialites, a lot of people do that. They do gather little bits of tea on each person they're around to kind of like hang over their head if need be. So I can see Karen doing that.
Yeah. Well, last but definitely not least, we have to talk about Dr. Wendy Asefo and her storyline. We did have some good news. It seems as if Happy Eddie is reconnecting with his family, and we're seeing a little bit of that on the show. Layla, how are you feeling about Dr. Wendy? Some people are saying that she's sort of like playing from the sideline. How are you feeling about Dr. Wendy this season?
Well, I like what she said. Remember, she explained that she each season, like she was starting a new business, like she felt like she had to bring so much, like she had to do something. But she said now that she's 40, shout out to the 40-year-olds. Now that she's 40, she feels like she can just live and be herself. So I kind of like seeing this more relaxed side of Wendy. And even though she's not bringing a lot storyline wise, I feel like in each episode, like it's been her birthday, like this whole season has been her birthday. So each episode is she still plays a large part in each episode. And I like to see that. I prefer to see this than her like starting another business.
Yeah, with Peter Thomas, who's going to jail.
Yeah.
For 18 months. Okay, great. How are you feeling about Dr. Wendy Asefo?
I really like her. I'm so happy that like they're backing up off of her now, and like Layla said, I'm glad that she was able to explain her journey and why she was doing the things that she was doing, because I feel like people have been very unfair to her in that. I feel like all over different franchises, even in RHOP, the girls, they try out different businesses. Robin had the trucks, the hats, the house flipping, and she didn't get the same level of vitriol that Wendy did about exploring different things. So it was great that she was able to fully explain that. But I do have to say, you guys, and it's more of a question to you guys and the audience watching. Do you think that Eddie's family is very authentic in them finally wanting to reconnect with them? Or do you think it's television driven? As in, oh, these people are on TV. There's all sorts of different opportunities. I'm seeing her launch a book, candles. I'm seeing the husband launch, businesses as well. Can we get in on this? Because to me, it's all too convenient. Children were born. They didn't care. Now, all of a sudden, these people are on TV and you want to come back in their lives. Like, if the kids didn't do it, then I don't trust you for anything else, to be honest.
And look, maybe I'm way too innocent here. I'm thinking because of the children and, the kids are almost damn near teenagers. The family was like, we need to connect. But maybe you're right. Maybe it's the glamour of reality television that is making them want to be a part. I mean, I hope not. But Layla, what do you think?
I mean, you could be right, Grace, because the kids are like 12, like almost teenagers. So it can't be the kids. And it reminds me, you guys remember when Kenya's mother finally acknowledged Kenya's daughter when she sent Brooklyn cards and stuff like that. And it was after Wendy Williams shamed her on national television. Wendy Williams shamed Kenya's mother for not participating in her life. And then the next thing you know, she's sending, gifts and clothes to her daughter. And so they could be embarrassed, that all this is going on like on television. And it seems like the original source is like petty, like Eddie's mom and Wendy's mom, whatever they have going on. It seems like it was like a petty situation. Yeah. So they could be embarrassed and not want to be seen like that on television.
Mm-hmm. And I honestly think that it's Wendy's mom that's the root of the problem between the families.
Yeah.
Holy Ghost fire.
I wouldn't be surprised. She's very odd.
I think she's definitely the root of it. Honestly, I'm enjoying Dr. Wendy this season, even though she's playing sort of like from the side. It's fine, and she still has her storyline going on. But I like the fact that she's holding people accountable. Even during the Lake Norman trip, she was calling people out for hypocrisy. This trip in Panama, she's hosting it. I think she's doing a decent job hosting it. But I always like to remind people that she's not really paying for it, y'all. It's Bravo, because a lot of people are like, "Oh, this is wrong." Jazelle was talking about the 2-hour drive to the resort. That's not really Wendy's fault. Right. That is Bravo's cheap sells. Okay.
But do you not hate that though? That's the one thing I hate about traveling when the resort is so far from the airport.
I had that experience. I was triggered, but that was my sister's fault. She planned it. I went to Jamaica. We landed in Montego Bay, but we had to drive all the way to Mandeville. And I'm like, and she's like, we're going to take a bus. And then she told, and I go, they saw another side of me because she didn't tell me before we landed that. She didn't tell me before, like we were here in New York. Tell me that so I can prepare myself mentally.
Right.
On a bus. I think it was more than 2 hours we were on that bus.
Yeah.
Y'all for those in Jamaica, from Montego Bay Airport to Mandeville, how long is that? It was long. And I had an attitude about it, so I was a little triggered watching that. But I'm not going to blame Dr. Wendy or Seppo for that. I'm blaming production. Okay, guys, if you're just joining us, I'm here with my special guest, Grace Report and Lailah Lynn. Don't forget to like the video. It's easy and it's free, and it helps you discover new other content creators talking about similar topics like we do. Ladies, before we wrap up today's recap, again, let people know what you have coming up and what you're working on. We'll start with Lailah.
If you see here, we have Lailah Lynn Home. So I'm doing home merch, and I have my coffee line, Pedal and Pour, which is available now. You can go to LailahLynnHome.com now and check out my coffee. It's 7 different flavors. And it's great for anytime you want to take a moment to yourself.
Do you have a favorite flavor?
I started out drinking decaf because I wasn't too much into caffeine at first, but then I was like, you know what? Let me try the caffeine, see if it gives me like a little pep or whatever. So all of them really, because the flavors are like chocolate, spices, a little bit of citrus. So they're all good.
Okay.
You know what I mean? They're all good.
Okay. And anything else coming up with your channel? Because I know you're still putting out lots of content.
Yeah, you know what? We deep into this live now, so I guess I can share. So I'm on camera now. At one point, YouTube had demonetized my channel.
Oh, hell no.
They had demonetized my channel, yes. Because something about, reuse content, like you have to come on camera if you're going to, use content. So as far as my channel, everything is like on camera now. So I'm adjusting to that. I feel like it's a different vibe from what I was given. Like I consider my videos like mini documentaries. And so now I have to approach it like a different way. So more content, but definitely like on camera content.
Literally, one of my friends who also has a big YouTube channel had the same issue as well. I feel like they shouldn't demonetize you for that because it's still your original creative content.
Right.
So to me, that's the thing with, YouTube and Google, but, I'm glad you shared that because I know there are other content creators that are learning from us in regards to some of the trials and tribulations of creating content here on YouTube or TikTok or things like that. Grace, what is coming up for you? What have you been up to?
Great question. Well, listen, I launched my morning report, which is a every weekday show that I do. It's a live show at 10 a.m. Eastern where I cover the day's hot topics, typically about 5 to 6 different stories. So today we just did that before I hopped on here. We were talking about the Blake Lively, Justin Baldoni of it all, which is just mind-blowing, right? Yep.
You read that one.
Yeah. the receipts and everything. I'm actually about to go ahead and go live to read the full lawsuit with everybody as well. So that sort of stuff, because after we did the London show and everything like that, I felt kind of like motivated, like, wow, like people really do love hearing, you know, people speak for longer periods of time. And when you're live, you also get to get people's live feedback because, you know, I do enjoy reading what people are saying in the chats here too. And when I'm doing my morning reports. So I definitely want to do more of that moving forward in the new year. And I started doing some strategy for other content around that as well, because that's going to be my new main kind of thing that I'm doing on my channel. So every Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern.
I love that. I love that. Guys, again, be sure to check out everything Grace Report and Lailah Lynn in the description. Go support them. Go give their videos and likes. Go buy the products. That's very, very important that we support up and coming businesses and new things that we're working on. And as you can see, we're always trying to change up and have multiple streams of income because these platforms are not guaranteed, unfortunately. So that is a lesson to anyone that's also doing what we are doing. But Replay Crew, we haven't forgotten about you. If you're watching this, don't forget to like the video and don't forget to check out everything Grace Report and Lailah Lynn in the description. We had a few super chats that I wanted to talk about. Hey, Adrian, you've been a member for 37 months. Wow. Damn, have I been on YouTube that long? Apparently. Adrian says, if Teresa and all her felonies, damn, can come back after defrauding the government, then Karen can come back after her DUI stint. Not stint. Wow. Sharon, thank you for the super chat. Sharon says, can understand the pressure to have a man when the title of the show has wives in it. Still better to be single and successful than abused and mistreated. Ooh. Well, that part. Mr. Melon Magic says, child, thank you for the super chat. Child, TJ is just a verse bottom with wrinkles. Now, why'd you have to put that in the super chat? Brandy, thank you so much for the super chat. Brandy says, correction. Mary E said that the original plea offered to Karen was 60 days in jail. Okay, not 6 months. Thank you for that, Brandy. Either way, she might be going to jail, y'all. Sorry, Grace.
It hurts.
You can write her.
That makes more sense. You can write her. Lord have mercy.
Yeah,
I just saw
the
address for people to write to Louis Maggioni. You know, he just entered his not guilty plea. I am not writing that man or Karen. Okay, but you let us know if you write her, Grace. Okay, tries. Okay, Mr. Esquire, thank you so much for. Mr. Esquire says, Jazelle, as a former first lady, being so judgmental about celibacy is weird. Didn't spreading it low and wide not work for her? Where's Jason again? Damn.
Thank you.
Angelica, thank you for the super chat. Angelica says, if Karen goes to jail and doesn't come back, who do you think should return to RHOP? Oh, ladies?
Candace? Do we want Candace back? She had a baby.
Come back?
I don't know. She gotta miss the money, right?
Oh.
She had gotten to the point, she had been on for several seasons, so she was probably making a nice little check from it.
Oh, yeah.
So
yeah.
She and her mom, they said that Chris came from a very prominent family with a lot of money, so I'm sure he and his prominent family are bankrolling her right now.
Okay.
But also, remember, Candace's mom got money too. Mom and dad have money too. So there's that. But that's great. Thank you so much for another super chat. She says, the man doth protest too much in regards to TJ.
Yeah.
Oh, Lord. In regards to what Lailah revealed, that his IMBD clarifies his sexuality, which I've never seen. Okay.
I didn't even know they had that option until I saw it on
YouTube. Now I'm going to put it, and I'm going to put straight. Gracie, thank you so much for the super chat. Gracie says, check the Jasmine brand. It says that Jazelle wanted the scene about her daughters edited out. I believe that. How did you feel about Mia talking about Giselle's daughters?
It wasn't cool. It really wasn't. And I still don't understand what she was trying to say about Jazelle and the way she runs her Instagram page, as if, you know, that was ever really a topic of, you know, conversation with the way that Mia runs hers. People are just confused why she's bringing her children as a storyline, and her clapback was just very unnecessary. It really was.
And she doubled down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
which is weird.
Yeah, and we saw on the preview for next week, you see kind of Ashley saying like, if you're gonna double down, like I can't stand with you, like I can't, be cool with you like that if you're doubling down on it, because they're
Yeah.
just girls, you know what I mean? And so I can't be surprised. Mia uses her own kids for a storyline, so I can't be surprised seeing her use Giselle's kids for a storyline. I'm not
Yeah.
surprised, but it's low.
Yeah. And look, and Jazelle made the point, and we said this last week as well, is that you talking about the girls sneaking in boys, that's what teenagers do.
Yeah,
So that wasn't shocking. And Jazelle was like, yeah, and look, and
right.
Zoe, thank you so much for the super chat. Recap of Mia. First season, she used her mother. Second, her best friend. Third, Gordon's mental health. And now her children. Wonder who will she use next season? Probably Ink. Look, probably Ink. Or maybe all of the above. Just say it. Judy, Judy also been a member for 37 months. Love when y'all get together. We do too. We do too. Sashay Shantae, 41 months. Damn.
Wow.
Thank you so much. We appreciate the support, guys. We really, really do. Sashay Shantae says, happy to see the dream team. Nice holiday surprise. I agree. Robert is letting us know. He says, hello, Kempire, and Grace and Lailah. You three have heard the news that the lawyers for Karen Huger will be in federal courtroom, Washington, D.C., Baltimore, Maryland on January 15th. Okay, so that's before I come down to Washington, D.C., so we might have an update, guys. Don't forget the Kempire After Dark live experience. We'll be returning to Washington, D.C. On Friday, January 24th. So that's literally like over a week from that court date. So go get your tickets today. More information on that show will be available in the description, along with our New York City show for Friday, February 21st. More information on the live stream option for that show is also available in the description. All right, ladies, before we wrap this up, what are your like overall thoughts and expectations for the rest of the season for Real Housewives of Potomac? I'll start with you, Grace. What are you looking forward to? What is standing out to you? What are you loving? What's your overall feeling?
That is such a good question, because that was episode 12, so I'm wondering how many more episodes do we even really have to have a big turnaround. But I want to keep things where they're at right now. I'm really liking, there's some drama, but overall there's not toxic, there's no bullying or anything like that, like extreme anyway, going on. So I want to see Wendy continue to have a good time and to call out the double standards when she sees them. I would love to see Jazzy have a bigger moment. I would love to see Kiana step into her role a little bit more. I want to see Karen continue to dismiss Jacqueline, and I would love the beef between Mia and Jazelle to evolve a bit more, because I feel like for an OG, Giselle's a bit of a disappointment. Like, she came for your kids and that's all you've got. Like, she doesn't handle herself well one-on-one. And I really need her at this point to be able to step up and do that.
Yeah. I would say that's the biggest thing I want to see too. It might be kind of like the only thing, because I almost feel like we can wrap it up at this point. If Karen's not going to talk about her DUI, I kind of feel like, I do want to see Jazelle get into Mia like she did to Wendy and Candace. I feel like she owes that to the audience. If she's trying to show herself as a different person, I think it's kind of like only fair if she did that. But other than that, I think that's the biggest thing that I want to see from this season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, look, I feel like the season has been good. It hasn't been their best season. I do enjoy Stacey as an addition. I hope that she doesn't bring TJ back next season. I want to see Stacey single, doing it, dropping it low, having a good time. I do want to see that. It will be interesting to see I feel like that's going to be the biggest part of what we can expect for the rest of the season, especially when it comes to the reunion. I think the reunion is probably going to be filmed right after the holidays, before she's sentenced, unless they decide to hold off. But I feel like I think that would throw off their schedule for filming. But I felt like they were supposed to film the reunion before the holidays, so I'm wondering if they specifically waited until after the conviction so that they would have more to talk about. Yeah. So I wish Karen had really showed more accountability during the season. I understood she was fighting it, but everyone that has watched that body cam footage, you were less than smart. I was going to use the other word. You were less than smart to take this to trial when you could have shown accountability during the season, and the Ladoms could have been proud of you. Just saying. The Ladoms could have been proud of you. But this is what you did. This is what you gave us. No accountability. I'm not falling for the whole Jazelle, hero arc this season. Let's see how she is next season. But overall, I feel like this was a decent cast. I can definitely see some adjustments for next season. If you had to get rid of someone next season, ladies, both of you made that face. If you had to get rid of someone and bring someone else back, who would you bring? Who would you get rid of for next season? Assuming that Karen does return next season.
I kind of want to say Kiana. Like, I really don't like what's going on with Kiana and that man. Well, see, I like Stacey. I don't like Stacey's relationship, but it doesn't bother me as much as Kiana's. Like Kiana, I don't know if I'm saying that right. Kiana, her trying to marry Greg and the way he's making her jump through hoops, but we don't see what's the benefit of marrying him. Like, I don't want to see that on my screen. So I would say her. If we did friend ofs, then Jacqueline and Jazzy, I would give her another chance maybe. But Jacqueline and Kiana.
Okay, Grace.
For myself, I think I would do probably Kiana or Ashley, and I would bring back Charisse. Just kidding. I would bring back Monique.
Oh, Monique.
Yeah.
Oh, Monique.
I love Monique.
I forgot about her.
Damn, poor Monique. Okay, look, if I had to get rid of anyone, I think I agree with you, ladies. Kiana was a big and I'm not even just talking about the whole Greg stuff. I think even seeing her on Watch What Happens Live and doing interviews, I enjoy her as a friend of. I think probably as a friend of, she probably would do better. When her personal story, not that interested in. I expected more from her this season, and I felt like we didn't. And maybe because of the man, that's part of the reason why we didn't get more.
Yeah.
So I love me some Stacey. Bring back Stacey. You can leave TJ where we found him on the Grey's Anatomy studio set lot, doing extra work because I don't remember him on Grey's Anatomy. And nothing wrong with extra work. It pays, okay? But I'm not interested. The whole fact that he's an actor, I'm like, okay, that might be the reason why this is coming inauthentic. He's not that great of an actor.
Yeah.
Just
you know what? I forgot to mention, speaking of acting, I'm a voice actress now.
As you should be.
I signed up on thank you. And I did something already. I did like a stop drinking ad for like Maryland. But yeah, I'm available for.
Oh, wait, you did a stop drinking ad for Maryland?
Yeah, like I think you call like 988.
Send it to Karen.
Right.
Lailah Lynn's voice is so recognizable. I definitely watched some of her videos. Lovely to see her gorgeous face to the voice.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. If you're in Maryland and you're drunk.
We got to remember in this for a minute. And I apologize, ladies, for keeping you so long. But you did a stop drinking ad for Maryland.
Yeah, for Maryland. Yes, for 988. Like if you're drunk, it was for the holidays. Like if you're drunk during the holidays because you're depressed, you're missing your family or whatever, you call 988 and they counsel you and stuff like that. I did an ad for that.
Someone send it to Karen. Well, Karen's gonna hear them like, I know that voice.
Right.
She'll block you next.
Well, so you got LailahHome.com. You've got your YouTube channel. You've got now you're doing voice act. I didn't even think about that. Like, that's perfect. That is perfect. Yeah. Okay. Excuse me. The ladies are busy and booked and busy. We got Grace Report's the morning report going on. All right. First of all, thank you, ladies, so much for doing this. Happy holidays. I'm just so happy that we're able to do this. And we promise we will definitely in 2025 do more of this, guys. We have done this in the past over the last couple of seasons of Potomac when we weren't recapping it. We've met up. We've also talked about hot topics as well, because all of our channels, we cover everything, not just Housewives. We cover everything in pop culture. So make sure you subscribe to everyone. And if you haven't already, be sure to like the video. I did see, thank you so much, Miriam. Happy holidays, everyone. Hoping for another London meetup in the future. Most definitely. Had a great time in London. And Lailah was there in spirit. Grace was there as well. We had a really, really great time in London. And as always, I appreciate you both for being here. anything else that you wanted to say about Real Housewives of Potomac or what you got going on?
No, I just want to wish you guys a very, very happy holiday season. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, whatever it is you guys are celebrating. Have a great time to you guys, Kempire and Lailah, and of course, all of you guys in the chat, and those of you who are watching the replay.
Most definitely. And I think we should do a little bit of a little giveaway because it's the holidays, and I like to give a little something during the holidays. Okay. So let's do a little bit of a giveaway in the live chat, guys. Be sure to drop your Christmas trees and Santas and all that in the live chat. Let's give away a coldest water bottle. Why not, right? Have you guys gotten a coldest water bottle? I love me a coldest water bottle. Keeps my water still cold.
Yes, it does. I have a huge one. It really does work. Yes,
it really does. I've been using one since the beginning of this channel. I've been using one. So let's give away a coldest water bottle. And shout out to the winners from yesterday's giveaway. I will be getting back to you guys today. Those of you in the live chat, let's choose a winner for today. Okay, Ocean's Dreaming. Let us know that you are in the live chat. Congratulations. Hold on. Congratulations to Ocean Dreaming. Email us at kempiredaily@gmail.com. That again is kempiredaily@gmail.com. Congratulations on winning a coldest water bottle, one of my favorites here. Guys, don't forget, we will be live again at 2:30 p.m. Eastern with allegedly Stephanie. And then after that, we have our recap of Married to Medicine. Are you guys watching Married to Medicine? Are you fans of Married to Medicine?
I love it. I didn't see last night's episode, but I do love that show. I do.
Me too. Grace?
It's been a while, y'all. I gotta catch up. I'm a couple seasons behind, but I did see the little clip of Contessa and Heavenly going at it, and that looked really juicy.
Yeah, we're gonna be talking about all of that. And ladies, as always, I appreciate you both being here. Again, guys, make sure you follow both Grace Report and Lailah's channels and everything that they have going on. Support. Happy holidays here from myself to all of you and your families. I wish you all a blessed and healthy, most importantly, new year as well. Thank you all for being here. Thank you, ladies. I will see you all in the next one. Don't forget to like the video if you haven't already. All right. Bye, y'all.
Thank you. Bye.
Here we go now.